Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Hey, I'm Ben Choder, and in our ongoing series of live and on-demand webcasts, today's topic is 10 tips to becoming a webcast ninja. And what do I mean by that? All right, here's our opportunity as an organization when we're presenting our technology to take the best foot forward. All right, and what I mean by that is here's our chance to present our technology how our clients need to see it, whether they're watching from their home, whether they're watching from an office, whether they're watching on the road, whether they're watching in a conference room, doesn't make a difference. Here's our chance to show them a good user experience, and we need to be entertaining and we need to engage our audience. And as you can see, my goal here is I'm focusing on the camera, I'm focusing on our audience, I'm not looking all over the place, and I'm trying to use my hands because I like to speak with my hands, but I'm also trying to engage our audience. But before we even get into what you're going to talk about, come on, first topic, first point that you have to have, number one, is lighting, right? So you have to have decent lighting and a backdrop. Doesn't mean you have to go out and buy expensive lighting. It means don't do a presentation in front of a window. Don't do a presentation in front of, with no lights on. Don't do a presentation where there's glare. Don't do a presentation where there's a lot of echo in the room. Again, the concept here is we want to do a demo in the best light that our customers are going to see it in. So find an area in your home or your office where there's not a lot of noise, there's not a lot of glare, there's something intrinsic about the backdrop. So my backdrop isn't really great, it's just black, but again, there's nothing taking your eyes off of me or taking the focus away from me and the presentation. Number two, come on, you gotta look presentable. All right, and I really mean this. I know, and I've done a lot of demos. Don't do demos in t-shirts. Don't do demos wearing a hoodie sweatshirt. Don't do demos where, you just don't look really, really presentable. You're representing the West Corporation every single time we get on camera. And we want our audience to know that we really respect them and we care about them and we're taking the time. I like to always wear a jacket with it. Doesn't mean you have to wear a jacket with it. Some people want to wear a tie when they do presentations. Whatever you feel is best for you, you do. But again, you're representing the organization. You want to look the best you can, presentable. Again, thinking about how our audience is going to use the technology. All right, then the third thing is, if you can, we want to use a decent microphone and a camera, all right? I'm using a prosumer camera right now. I do lots of demos using my GoPro, really good. Just don't like the cheap little webcams. And again, if you're using all that, you got to make sure that your audio is in sync. Use a microphone if you can. Just make it really compelling. And again, good camera, good sound, good lighting. You're 90% there. Then the only thing left is for you to give a really good presentation and show our technology the way it should be. And then, my kind of joke about this is think of yourself as a radio announcer. No dead air. Talk. Don't feel like you have to, and this is number 4, of course, don't feel as if you have to go from A, B to Z. Talk to the audience, engage them. You're watching virtual television, right? So you have to make this where it's really compelling for them. And that's where I always say engage the audience, number 5. And what I mean by that is tell them a story, relate to them, think about them. I like to use props. So a lot of times, if I'm doing a demo for McDonald's, I have McDonald's hamburgers in front of me. If I'm doing a demo for 7-Eleven, I have a big gulp in front of me. But another way to keep it going is do some polling, all right? And so what I'm going to show you right now is we can do polls. And here, another neat thing tied into that is if you're going to do polls, use a moderator if you can. And if you could use a moderator, it really helps make the program compelling. And so for this sake, I'm going to use a moderator, and it could be on camera and off camera. For the beginning, I'm going to use Ivan as an off-camera moderator. He could be anywhere. He could be on via a phone, and as you can see, he's an on-camera moderator right now. But now we'll go back to my video for a second. So this is him with me, and this is how I use a moderator most of the time. I use him for Q&A, and I use him for polling. So the first question is, hey, let me push the first poll, and then I'm going to have Ivan read you the choices.
Oh, thanks, Ben. The first poll is, what was Ben's New Year's resolution? Was it he decided it was time to dig up the old Billy Banks Tybo fitness tapes and get back in shape? Was it clean living? No more late night trips to Dairy Queen and Taco Bell? Or was it webcast demos are amazing, but what he really wants to do is star in his own reality show on public access TV? Or last, he promised never to watch another webcast with poor video ever again.
Thank you, Ivan. All right, so that's sort of how the polling works. And you guys know how our technology works with polling. So use a moderator, engage the audience, use your polling as much as possible. Make sure the audience knows what we're doing. Again, also, it's an opportunity for you to show the audience some of our features. You know, another feature I like to show, just why I'm here, is let me get out of my polling, and I'm going to go back to my slides. I can do whiteboarding if I wanted to. So I'm going to let Ivan do a little whiteboarding on this slide for me so I can actually talk to you. So again, when we talk about engagement, hey, you should whiteboard, annotate your slides. Now I could do this, or Ivan could be doing it. He's writing hi, he can circle things, he can underline things, and again, emphasize your point. Remind the audience as you're going through this that everything we do live is automatically stored for on demand. So you can reach a live audience and an on-demand audience. Or we can do simulator live, record it and then play it back and just bring people on for Q&A. Remind the audience that we're always integrated with PhoneBridge, right? We're intercall, right? Really important facts. Remind the audience also that we're the only global, truly global company. We have offices all over the world. How compelling is that? All right, so now I'm going to pop to my number 7. Number 7 is really important too. And Ivan, why don't you pop your video on for a second? And I'll let Ivan explain to you why it's so important the moment a program is over to clean it up. Because remember, our audience is going to be watching our stuff on demand.
So it's super easy to clean up the heads and tails of a video. When you publish the video on demand, they're going to have more people watching it in their studios, in their offices. If there's some time where I'm just fixing my tie or fiddling around, and they don't want to see that part. And it looks very unprofessional. And also, when I say thank you very much and have a great day, they don't want to also see me struggling to turn the webcast off. Just trim the heads and tails, and our platform has the simplest tool to just trim it. You can do it within a couple seconds, and it takes a few minutes to render, and it's up and going, and you can publish it. It's perfect.
Great facts. All right, let's jump to number 8. Again, this is really important too. When you're doing a demo for a client, add a little bit. Like I said, I like to do props, but more importantly, make sure you have the proper logos of your client. Make sure you brand IWS. Make sure you walk over to polling. Don't just throw it together. Put a little thought in the interface. How's our client going to use it? But let them know, hey, I'm doing a video side by side with slides, but I could be doing full screen video. I could be doing full screen slides. You know, always tell the audience that you can upload almost an unlimited number of slide sets. Builds and animations. We're one of the few technology doesn't convert our slides into JPEGs. We keep builds and animations. Show a slide that has builds and animation. It's really, really important. Number 9, if you can, and you're using a camera, use a decent encoding box. All right, so here's an example of one. Blackmagic takes the video feed in, sort of enhances the quality of it. Or one of the things we're pushing a lot at Intercall and at West Corporation is the Epithen Pearl, right? And so here's the Pearl. Not only is it a great capture box, it lets me take multiple inputs in, lets me take things like, you know, oh, let's use an example. Ivan, why don't we go to a video of me and my iPad or my iPhone. So here you go. I'm going to pop to this. This is me, Ivan, and the my iPhone. All right. So again, integrating, showing that hey, it's not just has to be slides. Doesn't just have to be video. It could be web pages. It could be apps. Demo. Show the technology. All right, Ivan. Let's go back to our video. And I want to ask you, on number 9, we were talking about using a decent encoding. You've done more encoding than almost anyone I know. Give us a tip. What are your tips?
So for encoding, the Pearl is going to work best for you. Definitely try to get your hands on one of the Pearls. You'll be very happy about that.
Yeah, but what happens if it's one of our reps, one of our team members who are in the field, they don't have access to it. What should they know about encoding? What kind of bit rate should they be doing? What should they know?
Sure. Yeah, you want to, standard is about 450 to 500 bit rate for video and audio. Audio is about 120, 28. Obviously, you want to make sure that we have proper bandwidth. We don't want to show up at an office and then have our webcast fail.
Yep. I think that was a great tips. Let's pop to number 10. And then the goal is we want to keep it short and sweet. We want to take lots of questions and constantly ask the audience if you have any questions. Show all the features we have. All right. Talk about our reporting. Talk about how we integrate with lots of social media platforms. Talk about our security. Talk about our customization, which we talk about how we can customize this. We want our clients to know that our registration is customizable, the branding is customizable, the look and feel is customizable. Know your audience. Also, talk a little bit about our VCU integration. Right? We can take VCU integration, really important, but also tell them what's coming. Give them a little treat. Guess what? Coming in the next quarter, coming in this quarter, is our full VCU integration, where we can take 6 video feeds into our live streaming platform with just a click of a mouse. How crazy is that, Ivan? That's like,
beautiful.
to me, that's like one of the coolest things that we can do that's sort of going to separate Intercall and West from almost anybody else out there in the space. Again, I mentioned before, multiple slide sets, slides with builds and animations. Do your research on the company. And then, hold on, number 10's up here. Ivan, what's the key thing that you and I talk about? Why don't you take this one?
You have to test everything. So if you put new branding on something, obviously go to the website of the client. Make sure you're putting the updated branding. You don't want to put last year's branding because sometimes they get very upset about that because they've spent a lot of time choosing the branding. Make sure the branding is up to date and it looks proper. So sometimes when you launch the webcast, it doesn't fit correctly. If you didn't test, it's going to look awful. You need to test everything. Test the lighting.
Test.
Test the audio
And then play
video.
back,
Yeah,
right? And play back. Get involved. All right, Ivan, go to my video for a second because I want to talk about 2 other things. One is, one of my favorite parts about using a moderator is for 2 things. One is he could be actually texting clients off camera. 2, if he's in another location, God forbid something happens with my connection, the audience doesn't lose the program, Ivan can take it over for a minute, or a moderator can talk. Here, let's use an example. Ivan, do we have any questions? No, just keep my video up here, but do we have any questions from the audience, Ivan?
We certainly do, Ben. Thank you. Our first question comes from Michael Torsellini. He's asking, when should you play the video during a webcast?
Well, I think playing a video is cool. Why don't we play it right now? It's a perfect time to play video. Again, another feature we have in the platform, play videos.
Should I say Michael Torsellini or should Joseph? Okay.
Let it go for like another 10 seconds, 5 seconds.
Okay.
Let's get out of it now.
Okay.
All right, so one of the cool things to do when you think about it is, I love playing videos, whether it's a video we have or if you go to your client, pull something they have on YouTube, pull a piece of video of that company, play back to them something that's compelling to them. And so that's what I really like, all right? So I showed you, we get to pull video, we have whiteboarding, which we talked about, we can do polling, we could do desktop sharing, which I didn't show you on this demo, but we will do other demos where we show you all the features. We have phone bridge integration, which is really cool. And then, as I mentioned, we do have whiteboarding, and I could do links. I could go out to any website I want. And so the whole concept here was to give you 10 quick tips about our platform and also how to best present. Again, make it engaging, make it short. I went a little over how long I wanted to go. This is a little over 20 minutes, but the whole concept here, maybe a little under 20 minutes, but the whole concept here was to give you something that was compelling and easy to use. And Ivan, why don't you come back on video with me? And I'll let you give the final words.
And we appreciate you tuning in for the top 10 ways to make the best video possible for your webcast. We appreciate your time. We know it's valuable. And from us to you, Happy New Year's.
And look out for more content from us. We're going to try to give you one piece of content every week. Today, how to give a good webcast, how to present to your audience. Engage, engage, engage. We're out of here.